So you're charged with driving while intoxicated. You're facing up to 6 months in jail and/or a $2,000 fine. You're also charged with evading arrest or detention. On that, you're facing up to a year in jail and/or a $4,000 fine. We are going to do probable cause. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you. You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford one will be appointed to you, sir. Okay.
On or about March 26, 2025, an officer was on patrol on Gulf Freeway in Harris County, Texas. The officer observed a motor vehicle disabled in the left hand with grass speed, dividing southbound and northbound lanes of traffic. The motor vehicle had multiple airbags deployed and all 4 tires appeared to be damaged. On arrival, the officer observed an additional motor vehicle disabled on the open access roadway. What was formerly a car dealership. The officer observed the witness walking towards the officer.
All right, guys, buckle up. We're diving into a real courtroom scene, raw and unfiltered. Abraham Elias Sales stands charged with DWI, driving while intoxicated, and evading arrest. The max penalties? Up to a year behind bars and thousands in fines. As the judge reads his rights, Sales barely reacts, but the tension in the room is thick. The charges are serious, and the stakes are sky-high. What follows is a wild chain of events: foot chases, blown-out tires, and a whole lot of lying. This isn't just another DWI. It's chaos on the record.
The witness said that 5 minutes prior to the officer's arrival, the defendant approached the witness after the witness decided her to blown out. The witness informed the officer that the defendant demanded to use the witness's phone. The witness advised the officer that the defendant wanted to contact the defendant's mother to pick up the defendant from the scene. The witness told the officer that the defendant continued to approach aggressively and that the witness told the defendant the witness would call the police if the defendant did not stop. The witness said the defendant fled the scene on foot. The witness described the defendant's clothing, and the officer observed the individual matching the description running and approaching the scene of the incident. As the defendant approached the scene of the accident, the defendant began walking in a parking lot adjacent to the freeway. The officer gave loud verbal commands for the defendant to stop. The defendant fled on foot on the grass along a ditch. The defendant slid down a ditch and the defendant crossed Water Creek, then climbed the fence attached to private residence, and fled on foot for approximately 0.4 miles before he was later detained by his police department and turned over to deputies.
March 26, 2025, Harris County, Texas. A police officer spots a wrecked car on the grass divider, 4 tires shredded, airbags deployed. The whole scene looks like a war zone. Nearby, he finds another disabled car near a former dealership. Witnesses are scattered and panicked. One approaches, frantic, claiming, "He came at me." The witness says Sales demanded a phone to call his mom, acting erratic, aggressive, and completely unhinged. When the witness says, "I'm calling the cops," Sales bolts. At this point, we're looking at a suspect running from a crash scene. Welcome to Red Flag City.
The scene was moved to a Shell station to continue the investigation. The officers contacted the defendant. The officers observed a strong odor of alcoholic beverage emitting from the defendant, and the officers observed the defendant had red glossy eyes, slurred speech, dry mouth, repeating phrases, and agitated demeanor.
You say a shaky demeanor?
Sorry, agitated demeanor, Your Honor. And the defendant denied drinking alcohol and initially denied drug use, and then stated that he had been off for a couple of days and had consumed paste or coke. The officer, through training experience, knows this to be cocaine. The defendant admitted that he was going to a girl's house when the incident occurred and agreed to perform the standardized field sobriety tests. Those were administered, and the officer observed success exclusion on the HGN.
This is where it turns full action movie. Cops spot a guy matching the description sprinting across a parking lot. They shout, "Stop!" but Sales isn't stopping. He bolts through the grass, slides down a ditch, and even tries hiding near a creek. For miles, on foot, all while wearing flip-flops, before he ends up near a private home where officers finally take him down. You can run, but you can't hide. And let's be real, no normal. Innocent driver ditches their car and flees like a fugitive unless they've got something big to hide.
The officer did not administer the walking tour to the one-leg stand due to the defendant injuring his feet while fleeing. Defendant consented to a breath sample, which was not completed due to interference being detected. The officer obtained a search warrant for the defendant's blood, and there was a blood draw for the defendant.
Okay.
Your Honor, may I come?
Please.
I might have missed something, but besides the state saying that my client said he was going to someone's house, I didn't hear any operation facts.
I mean, he admits driving. He's by the car when the officers get there, right? Is he by the car when the officers get there, or where is he?
What I have, Your Honor, he has fled the scene when the officers get there, and then comes back to the scene.
Okay.
To the officers. The witness.
Scene shifts to a gas station. Officers catch up to Salas and immediately get a strong whiff of booze. He reeks of alcohol. His eyes are bloodshot, speech slurred, mouth dry, the whole checklist. He's agitated and fidgety, the kind of twitchy that screams, "I'm lying." At first, he says he didn't drink. Then, he backpedals and admits to using paste or coke, code for cocaine. Real smooth. When pressed, he claims he was just heading to a girl's house. Classic. But this isn't about romance. It's about a guy who crashed a car, ran from cops, and got caught red-nosed and busted.
Does the witness put him operating at all?
Yeah, just one moment, Your Honor.
If you can.
Yeah, all I heard is going somewhere. It doesn't say he was driving.
They might refollow, but might have been the wrong corner. Sometimes they fade in, it's getting going.
I'm not sure, Your Honor, there was anything additional. This is kind of like in this mirror.
Hey, look at it.
See you again, Your Honor.
Yeah, what's up, man? Good to see you. Do you have anything else?
Your Honor, it does look like the witness stated that he stopped and exited his vehicle and observed the driver of the RAV4. That's what I have, but
So it doesn't match up with my client.
Martinez stated once he stopped and exited the vehicle, he observed the driver of the RAV4, identified as Abraham Elias Salas.
They try to run a field sobriety test, but Salas claims his feet are too banged up from all the running. So they pivot to a breath test. He refuses to cooperate. That's interference. Next up, a blood draw, and boom, they get a warrant. Meanwhile, his story keeps unraveling. When questioned, he talks in circles, blaming a mysterious Mexican driver for causing the crash, even tossing out, "No tango papals." The whole thing sounds made up, a shaky, desperate cover-up. At this point, it's clear Salas is riding the line between guilty and completely full of it.
Using driver's license, come out from the grass near the RAV4 and aggressively approach him, requesting to use his cell phone. Stated that he was trying to use his cell phone to call his mother to come pick him up, and that Salas said the RAV4 belonged to his mother. Martinez stated after a short time that Salas asked Martinez if he had papers for immigration.
Judge, even with these facts, it doesn't show driving. Even if he owned the car, we have no idea when. There's no facts to say that he was driving the car, that he admitted to driving the car. I don't see operations.
So Salas stated that he was driving the RAV4 because he was going to a female's house and continued to speak. Salas then stated that he ended up in the grass because he was scared. Then stated that he was a Mexican driver that swerved in front of him. And
He said a Mexican driver swerved in front of him? Is that what he said?
I told him no tango papeles, or I don't have papers. Salas said that other driver was in a gray Toyota.
Then comes the pushback from the defense. Where's the proof he was driving? And it's a solid question. When officers arrived, Salas wasn't in the car. He had already fled and only returned later. The witness identified him as the guy who approached them, not the driver. So what gives? Is just being near the wreck enough? Can someone really be busted for DUI without being caught behind the wheel? It's turning into a courtroom chess match, with the DA scrambling to connect the dots, his location, his behavior, The excuse about calling his mother. But the real question is it enough?
Telling him to go away, stated that the RAV4 and the alleged Toyota came into contact, causing a collision. Salas stated that he was coming from his house in Friendswood, but denied having anything to drink.
Yeah, I mean, I think if they,
He was operating the vehicle at the time of the accident.
and you have the other person say something, right?
They
That's all.
say that it was, they identified him as the driver.
They just never say they saw him driving or operating the vehicle.
So I believe that they believe, based off the circumstances, that it was a driver. I don't know if the witness actually saw him driving. What we have to prove the driving facts is that Reed fired to a police prior to his arrest. He admits that he was driving the vehicle at the time of the accident, and the vehicle was found at the scene of an accident. It was found nearby. Was observed coming out of the grass nearby. By the arrest driver.
Although it's an admission, Judge, there needs to be an admission plus. I don't see that being enough for the plus.
Things heat up when a witness testifies that Salas emerged from the grass near the RAV4, acting like it was his, claiming it belonged to his mother, and even asking the witness if they had immigration papers. Now, we're getting into the thick of it. But once again, no one actually saw him behind the wheel. The judge keeps pressing. Where's the plus? You've got an admission, sure, but no clear operation. The law requires proof of driving, not just being nearby, and slowly, the whole case starts to crumble under its own weight.
Mr. Salas, I'm going to find that there's no probable cause in your case. Every freaking day in our county, someone dies from an alcohol-related collision. Don't become a statistic because of a boneheaded move that you make where you kill someone. Do you understand? Now, I'm going to find no probable cause. It's very possible they go indict this case at a later time if they get more evidence. But don't kill anyone. Do you understand?
Yes, John.
See,
Thank you, Ron. Are there any conditions you're imposing on the evading case?
no, I'm going to find no on both.
On both. Thank you, Judge.
And then, boom, the judge drops the hammer. No probable cause. Case dismissed for now. But not without a chilling warning. Every freaking day, she says, someone dies from a drunk driver. The room falls dead silent. She's not just addressing Salas. She's speaking to everyone. Don't end up in court hoping your lies hold. Don't become another statistic. Case closed unless more evidence surfaces. But for now, Silas walks free, barely dodging the bullet. Next time, he might not be so lucky.